Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thanks for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Lisa Bell. Justin and Ginger are off tonight. Severe weather is impacting one of the busiest travel weeks of the year. Skylar Henry reports from Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in Atlanta, dubbed the busiest in the world.
No, I'm dead serious, Mom. It's on the water right now.
Outside Houston, residents watched as a possible tornado made its way across a lake.
Oh my God! Here, come inside, Ramon. We didn't lock the door.
In Ocampo, Texas, people ran for cover with a funnel cloud moving quickly in their direction. It was one of at least 8 suspected tornadoes across Texas and Louisiana. A possible twister tore through this farm and ranch on Thursday.
Between probably this front barn and our back barn. Right in the middle of them.
Drone video showed the aftermath of severe weather striking the region. Storms dumped several inches of rain, causing flash flooding in Beaumont, Texas.
It's been pretty stressful, and we're just trying to get home.
The storm system is heading to the northeast, keeping holiday travelers on the lookout for delays in canceled flights.
It's been a bit busier than we expected. My mom and stepdad made sure we got here early enough to avoid any congestions.
More than 340,000 people are expected to make their way to and through Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport on Friday. Officials suggest arriving 2 hours ahead of time for domestic travel, 3 hours for international flights.
These flyers say they did just that and are hoping for the best.
So far, so good. Yeah.
We'll see what happens in security.
Yeah, we'll see.
Out west, an atmospheric river is spinning up snow and rain, making for dangerous driving conditions.
One person can ruin it for a whole lot of people.
AAA advises drivers to wait until bad weather eases before hitting the road and allow plenty of time for a safe trip. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Atlanta.
And we know some of that weather will be impacting us here in Central Florida. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan standing by, pinpointing that for us.
Yeah, you know, that same front that moved through those areas. Right now it is moving over parts of Alabama and northern Georgia. You could clearly see that well-defined line. We're looking at embedded thunderstorms, heavy rain. Now there's another front right behind that, and that cold front is what's going to bring scattered rain and a few strong to severe thunderstorms possible on Sunday. But here's what you need to know. It is going to be a warm and muggy weekend. I am forecasting lower 80s both Saturday and Sunday. On Sunday, though, it is going to be an inconvenient weather day because of the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms. And then there's another front that will be moving through Central Florida on Wednesday, and that is going to bring significantly cooler air to the state. And I'm talking about wake-up temperatures in the 40s and also 50s as we head into our Thursday morning. As we take a look at what's happening here currently, tracking some downpours moving across Volusia County this afternoon, Daytona, High Ridge Estates. Beginning to see the rain wrap up for your area, but as we zoom things out, most of the shower and storm activity staying offshore. Now, as we take a look at your lows for tonight, it's going to be mild. We're looking at those overnight temperatures falling into the lower to middle 60s. And your planning forecast for tomorrow calling for a 20% chance for isolated showers with a daytime high of 80 degrees. Now, things change as we head into Sunday. Look at your rain chances here across Central Florida, between 60 to 70%. Now, this won't be a washout situation, but heavy rain is certainly possible. Of course, we'll talk more about that forecast coming up in a bit.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Get pinpoint weather on the go, plus use live interactive radar with our free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app. Just search WKMG in your app store. Now at 6:30, Sky Elements has canceled perhaps one of its largest drone shows in the wake of the accident at Lake Eola. It was planned for New Year's Eve in New York's Central Park. The New York Roadrunners tell News 6 it hired Sky Elements for its annual midnight run through the park. Almost 5,000 people finished the race last year. A New Year's Eve Sky Elements drone event planned in Dallas has also been canceled. Sky Elements is, of course, the same company that put on the show at Lake Eola last weekend. A 7-year-old boy was hit by one of the several drones that broke away. At last check, he was in the ICU after having surgery on his heart. Tonight, a GoFundMe to help that family recover has raised more than $30,000. Their goal is $50,000. You can find the link to donate on our website, clickorlando.com. Now's your chance to check off anything missing from your holiday wish list. The Mega Millions jackpot tonight is now at $1.2 billion. There are some horror stories, though, on how winning the lottery actually turned out to be the worst thing for some people. But apparently not for these two people from Brevard County. They won a share of a record jackpot almost 9 years ago. And since then, their neighbors near Melbourne Beach tell News 6's James Sparvero, for the most part, they have not really changed.
So I think I found someone maybe even luckier than a jackpot winner, because to be 95 years old like Miss Ethel here and look this good, you've got to be blessed. Ethel, how does it? You're very welcome. We're talking about your neighbors, Dave and Maureen, who won that big jackpot. It was a lump sum of more than $300 million almost 9 years ago. But ironically, I think most people would assume they might have moved out of the neighborhood, moved on to bigger things. But for most of this time, they've lived pretty modestly.
And you know, Sunnyland Beach is such a friendly neighborhood. I think they liked it. They never flaunted what they were now millionaires and move away. No, they stayed right here in Sunnyland Beach area. So it was extra nice to have this sort of fame in the neighborhood, lottery winners. It was good.
Ethel, what would you do if you won? Are there things you'd like to do for your family?
I think I'd just be thrifty and hang on, but cancer research is so important. Someday, like polio, it's going to be conquered. So I think I would give money to cancer if I won the jackpot.
Sounds like you're thinking about the common good, and you'd take your own health over any amount of money.
Right, I'd like to, yeah.
This is the Publix in Melbourne Beach, where Ethel's neighbors bought their winning ticket back in 2016. The odds tonight of winning it all are more than 300 million to 1. But the odds of winning any Mega Millions prize are much better, 24 to 1. So if you're playing, maybe you'll win something. In Melbourne Beach, Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, Getting Results News 6.
Some new state laws will arrive with the new year, but the highest profile one might just be restricting access to social media for children. It will not be immediately enforced. 10 laws passed during the 2024 legislative session will take effect next Wednesday. The social media measure seeks to prevent children under the age of 16 from opening social media accounts on some platforms. Tech giants such as Google and Meta have filed a federal lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of the restrictions. Supporters of the legislation, including Representative Juan Porras, argue that social media companies have created addictive platforms that harm children's mental health and can lead to sexual predators communicating with minors.
We've seen such an uprise in social media the past 10 or so years, and with that, the rise of mental illness, suicide, depression. So there has to be something that we as Floridians can do to combat that.
The bill did not name social media platforms that would be affected, but it included a definition of such platforms with criteria related to things like algorithms, addictive features, and allowing users to view the content or activities of other users. Now to a big problem in Florida. Many condo owners say they are drowning in astronomical costs they never signed up for. The question: will this become a real estate crisis? As News 6 anchor Matt Austin explains, we are getting close to an important deadline.
Like most humans.
And then you get that shot with the pool, the palm trees are there. That's like iconic, right?
The waves and the sand call to Aaron Blake.
The view's insane.
I love it. The view is amazing, especially at night. You get the moon right over the ocean. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. The view is amazing.
But now, when you look at it, the view's a little tainted.
It's a little bit tainted. Yes, it hurts sometimes.
Oh, man.
2 years ago, Blake decided he was going to live the dream. He bought this 2-bedroom condo in Ocean Watch, overlooking the coast in Ormond Beach.
You work online, so you could probably live wherever you want, huh?
Yeah, I can live wherever I want.
And you chose this place.
I chose this. That hurt.
No, I mean, I get it. I look and I see, but who could have known what was going to happen?
I know. I had no idea. But
Blake didn't realize, like the waves he enjoys so much, the condo market was about to crash. During the past 2 years, Blake's HOA dues skyrocketed 190%, now more than $900 per month. He's had to pay special assessments, adding up to nearly $20,000. And insurance here has risen more than $1,000 per year.
You seem like a smart, logical guy.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to pay this amount in insurance. This amount is my HOA.
Yes.
This is my mortgage.
Right.
All of it ballooned.
Out the window. Out the window.
Does Florida have a condo crisis?
Florida's had a condo crisis for a little while now.
Tony Galarza has been selling real estate for 18 years in Florida. He says the numbers prove the issue. Median condo prices have dropped 17% in the last year. Meanwhile, active condo listings have surged, jumping from 8,000 to 20,000 in Central and South Florida.
That's the issue. That's the biggest problem. So when inventory goes up, prices go down, unfortunately.
Yeah,
right?
supply and demand.
Right, at 100%.
Another issue arrived 3 years ago. The Champlain Towers South condo complex collapsed in Surfside. 98 people were killed. Lawmakers rushed to address the dangers, signing a law requiring expensive structural inspections and more money set aside for repairs.
And so all that cost is now on the condo owners. We have to eat that, and it's huge. It's a lot. I don't think they thought through how hard it would hit us.
I don't see this rebounding anytime soon at all.
On top of all of these losses, the condo Blake bought for $302,000 in 2022 has now dropped in price to $199,000.
So really, it's going to be a short sale situation. Best case, take the hit, and that's really my only option at this point, to get out of the deal, because I can't continue personally to keep eating the costs.
Let's take a look now at what's trending on Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. Topping the list, no orange ball drop for New Year's Eve. For decades, downtown Orlando's New Year's Eve celebration featured the iconic orange ball drop on Church Street, a nod to Central Florida's once booming citrus industry. But heading into 2025, the tradition will no longer continue. A former employee confirmed the closure of several bars that hosted that event for nearly the past 25 years. It is unclear why Church Street Entertainment, the company who operated the 5 bars there, decided to shut down. It's also important to note the company withdrew its city permits allowing late-night alcohol sales last month. Here are some of the other trending stories right now at clickorlando.com. You all are still clicking on the story about the pizza delivery driver who Osceola detectives say stabbed a customer over a tip. 22-year-old Marcos pizza driver Brianna Alvelo is now facing charges, including murder. The victim was taken to the hospital and at last check was stable. Lastly, it is the last few days for Blue Origin to launch a new rocket before 2025. We learned today that the FAA has just issued a launch license for that massive rocket. This month, the company has been sharing videos showing tests of its New Glenn rocket at its Cape Canaveral launch pad. The huge rocket should draw huge crowds on Space Coast beaches. No launch date, though, has been announced. The high cost of living is creating a burden for millions of Americans, especially when it comes to credit card debt. Coming up, how one program serves to help people dig themselves out of a financial hole. Michelle.
And we are looking at changes as we head into the upcoming weekend. Rain returns to the forecast on Sunday, and a few strong to severe thunderstorms are possible. I'll break it all down coming up in my full forecast.
And a pet food recall some cat owners need to be aware of. The brand that bird flu was detected in. That's coming up. You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Palm Coast, Wildwood, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
right, we just took a live look from our Mount Dora camp. It's looking pleasant out there. You see people in shorts and short sleeves, you know, just enjoying their Friday night in Lake County. But we do have some pretty significant changes on the way for the weekend.
We do. We haven't seen measurable rain really for the month of December. It looks like we're going to get some of that on Sunday.
Okay.
All thanks to a cold front. So if your grass is crunchy like mine and Lisa's, maybe, you know, the rain can help the grass and the plants out as we go through our Sunday. So here's what you need to know. It is going to be warm and muggy both Saturday and Sunday. I am forecasting 80s for the weekend. Now on Sunday, we are calling it an inconvenient weather day because there's that potential for strong to severe thunderstorms. And then another cold front arrives to Central Florida on Wednesday, which is New Year's Day. And then we'll see cooler air move in to wrap up next week by the end of the week. As we take a look at the radar here, tracking a few light showers moving across Merritt Island. And that's about it. Nothing extensive as we head to our northern counties out in Volusia County, looking at some heavy rain staying well west of Daytona Beach and Ormond Beach. But for the most part, most of the shower and storm activity has wrapped up. During the overnight hours, we'll just be stuck with the clouds. So as you take a look at the setup here, zooming things out just so you can get a better idea of what's happening here across the southeast. Here's a cold front. You can see that well-defined line of heavy rain, embedded thunderstorms, and right behind it, there's another frontal boundary here. That's the front that's going to bring the rain and also the potential for those strong thunderstorms on Sunday. Tonight is going to be a mild night. I mean, you saw there for yourself. Looking at that Mount Dora camera, everyone is out having a good time in shorts, short sleeves. Overnight temperatures will be falling into the lower to middle 60s. So tomorrow morning, not looking awful. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Starting off in the upper 60s, mostly cloudy skies, 20% chance for a few isolated showers. We're in the upper 70s by 2, hitting a daytime high of 80 degrees in Orlando. Now for the rest of Central Florida here, out in Lake County, Claremont, Leesburg, seeing a high of 79, looking at 78 in Sanford and DeLand, 75 in Palm Coast and Daytona Beach, and 76 degrees in Melbourne. Not a bad Saturday ahead. Now the next big thing that we'll have to talk about here is the rain. As we take a look at your clouds and rain forecast, Saturday we'll continue to see those clouds over Central Florida. A few isolated coastal showers are possible. Also, it'll remain breezy ahead of that front. Now, ahead of that front, it is going to feel quite muggy, but we are looking at showers and storms developing as that front approaches the area. So look at the timestamp here. We're around 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll begin to see showers and storms beginning to develop along the I-4 corridor, and it'll be hit or miss rain. We're not looking at a washout situation, but we'll continue to see the scattered heavy rain as we go through your Sunday afternoon. Now, as we get closer to sunset, here comes our front. It's going to move through the area. A few lingering showers and thunderstorms are possible, but then things clear out as we head into our Monday. Now, because of that setup, there's a severe weather threat. Storm Prediction Center has highlighted parts of Marion County and Flagler County under a marginal threat where we could see a few strong to severe thunderstorms. So here's a look at your 7-day. We're in the 80s this weekend, 60% chance for showers and storms. Monday and Tuesday, fine. New Year's Eve, fantastic. There's our next cold front arriving on Wednesday, and then we're in the upper 60s as we head into our Thursday.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Right now, millions of Americans are feeling the financial sting of credit card debt, and they're struggling to keep up with the high cost of living. But there are ways to start the new year strong. News 6 anchor Justin Warmoth shows us the help available in today's Make Ends Meet.
When did you realize that you couldn't achieve what you were trying to achieve on your own?
It's a snowball. It's a slow roll.
It's a situation millions of Americans face. Mounting credit card debt with nowhere to turn.
Your healthcare costs build up, several surgeries in our household, the spending and the trips and the vacations, and then suddenly you're underwater.
For Brian Hodge, his debt snowball reached $26,000.
How did you feel as this was getting out of control?
It's going to sound dark, but it's like staring down the barrel of a gun. And you start to think, man, there's no path forward.
And so many people just put their head in the sand and say, yep, I'll figure that out later in life,
I'll just
right?
keep paying the minimums. I'll worry about it later. And it's like, but you're never going to get through it.
That's when he contacted Money Management International, a nonprofit that helps people like Brian get out of debt.
It's very alarming. Folks are using their credit cards for all sorts of things now that they didn't have to use it for before.
MMI works with creditors to reduce your interest rates and finds monthly payments that fit your budget.
It's hard to admit. for a lot of people.
It really is hard to admit. So what we're looking for is ways to remove the stigma, remove that shame barrier, so that as many consumers that need help as possible get the help they need.
That's a good takeaway. It's a pride thing. For a lot of people, it's a pride thing.
It is.
They think that they can't reach out to anybody because it's a source of pride. If I did it, I'm asking for a handout for help. Right. Everybody needs help sometimes. That's okay.
And with that help and a whole lot of hard work and discipline, Brian is now debt-free.
How's life now?
A lot better. Can actually enjoy some things, go to Disney occasionally. And
Yeah, not
Universal.
have to. Yeah, absolutely. Justin Mormouth, Getting Results, News 6.
Well, cat owners need to listen up. Northwest Naturals is recalling a batch of its pet food after a cat died from the bird flu. The recall is for Northwest Naturals' 2-pound feline turkey recipe raw frozen pet food. The company says the food tested positive for bird flu, and Oregon agriculture officials say that led to the death of a house cat. The recalled packages have best if used by dates of May 21st, 2026 and June 23rd, 2026. The pet food was sold through distributors in 12 states, including Florida. Pet owners who purchased it should immediately throw it out and contact the store for a full refund. We'll be right back after the break. Every week, we take this time to present a segment we call the Getting Results Award. We feature people in our community who you tell us are making a difference. Julie Broughton shares some of her favorites in this year in review.
If there was a theme to this year's stories, I'd say it was people taking the things they know and love and using them to help others. We started the year in Orlando's Baldwin Park neighborhood, where we caught up with the McBride family. Their annual holiday light display not only entertains the community.
This is our donation box.
It also supports projects at a local elementary school.
It's like, basic things that these kids need, right? They may need clothes, they may need food.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, everybody. We traveled to the villages where this sewing club makes dolls for kids in pediatric hospitals.
And the child life specialist uses it to show the child what they're going to do to them, maybe during surgery or what procedure they're going to have.
I like fixing things. I like the feeling of I fixed that.
We met Ed Rosa, who took his love for cars and started a nonprofit to help others who can't afford to get theirs back on the road.
With the little bit of income I have, I'm already struggling with some bills, so this saved a lot of headache.
It's a beautiful day out here, and the kids are doing amazing.
We got outdoors with Karina Rodriguez, who loves running so much, she started a running club for kids with learning disabilities.
My daughter is Samantha. As a parent, I wanted to create a running club for other kids with autism.
Come on, girl, let's go.
We got on an obstacle course with Team Blue Force.
It's a military acronym for Blue Forces.
They use fitness to inspire veterans with PTSD.
You know, I'm a firm believer that if you have something good, you have to share it. Everybody having fun tonight?
And we were there as Drew Campbell introduced kids to skateboarding, a sport he says changed his life.
We've taught over 10,000 kids how to surf and skate since 2003, and we love it.
Believe it or not, this is the original anchor mechanism.
We met history buff Dan Friend, who is trying to save a piece of Volusia County's past.
It's exciting. I mean, something built in our hometown by our hometown people 78 years ago, went to war, and is coming home. Now, how could it be more exciting than that?
I'm doing my morning walk pretty much like every day.
Then we tagged along as another Dan turned his morning walks into a daily neighborhood cleanup.
This is just a little slice of goodness that I really thought all the viewers should see. It is these little things that make our community great. And the more we see of that, the more we emulate it and we do the same.
Your neighbors got results, and it was a pleasure to share all of them with you. And we want to tell more stories like this in the year ahead. If you know someone getting results, we want to know about them. You can nominate someone you know by going to our website, clickorlando.com. You'll find the form under the menu tab. Go to the Contact Us link and remember to choose the Getting Results Award option. You just might see them featured here in the coming weeks.
I love that, especially the picking up trash.
That's really nice. I love that too.
Keep that plastic out of the waterways. Well, thanks for watching News 6 at 6:30. You can stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
And remember, we break news on clickorlando.com. See you tonight at 11.
Good night.